Good.
Good.
Oh. Okay, so I'll do it again. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Pellegrini Zone for a new show. I was muted, which is weird because I can see my sound popping off. I'll do it again. With me today is Dash. I'm not going to introduce Dash because everybody knows Dash. But we have two new members on the show, Giuseppe and Stephanie. So I'll ask again, how are you doing, both of you?
Doing good.
Good.
And Giuseppe left the screen. You need to move to your right, or the camera needs to move to the left. One of the two. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we are late, and that's my fault. I need to set up the stream, and also DiMaggio spoke about a Keane Muriel swap, whatever deal, which we will discuss further on the show. I will start with the main news today. And that's that of Kostic, because we knew he was coming. Like he's there, so that's fine. I want to ask everyone, Pellegrini, because he's gonna leave on loan to Frankfurt, which is out of the blue. Like, that was kind of shocking. Giuseppe, yeah, I know. But the big news is not Pellegrini leaving, because we knew he was out, or like he was on his way out. The news is from Giovanni Albanese saying we're not looking at a left back at all. And when I read that news, I was at work. My day was ruined. I'm like, we cannot do it. We don't have the center back room to play 4 at the back. Really quickly, Giuseppe, you need to move your camera to the left, or you just need to move your seat to the right.
It's very strange.
If you move
it's full screen, I'm dead center on my screen.
But it's completely different on mine. Just move your seat to the right, and you're okay. Yeah, because I cropped you. Otherwise, you wouldn't fit on the screen on my end.
Gotcha.
That's perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, you're good now.
Okay.
Yep, you're good now.
So Pellegrini, out on loan. According to Giovanni Albanese, we're not bringing in a left back. We're not even looking at a left back. Not even Emerson Palmieri. So I don't know if that's good news or if that's bad news. For me, it's actually awful news. It's horrendous news. Like, I couldn't believe it. I will start off with you, Dash. First of all, Pellegrini leaving on loan, so not even a sale, so he's coming back. What do you make of that?
So my thought is, and it's what some of the folks have been talking about. I think we're switching to a 3-5-2 because you're moving Pellegrini, so your incoming is Kostic, and it looks like they probably are going to switch to a 3-5-2. They might pick up some extra center back personnel to cover for it, but just because they're not picking anyone up, it's starting to seem that like it's we're moving in that 3-5-2, 3-4-3 kind of direction. Moving Pellegrini, I think it's a good idea because if he goes to the Bundesliga and balls out, it's going to actually increase our chances of selling him because it'll give us better stock than what he will if he stays with us. So it's good. The problem that I have with it is if we're not switching to a 3-5-2 and we don't replace him, Sandro's out next year, and then that means you're going to get 2 new left backs in theory because Pellegrini and the new left back. So you're not giving them an ample opportunity to come in and settle. So this would be, and this is what makes that Cambiaso loan over. Makes no sense anymore to Bologna anymore because it's like, okay, cool. So we've moved Pellegrini, so we don't have Cambiaso kind of playing underneath Sandro to kind of develop and grow into the role, and then eventually become a starter or a rotational piece next year. So I'm a little bit confused. The only way that I can think of it now is if we're either A, shifting De Sciglio over to the left and we're shifting Quadrado into a right back. That's going to be probably one thing that I'm thinking of. Or we're switching positions to a 3-5-2 or a 3-man defense. So I think that's going to be my thoughts of it. Is either DeCilio is shifting over to the left, or we're switching formation on at the end of the transfer market.
Yeah, Giuseppe, what do you make of Pellegrini leaving on loan and not looking at a left back? Apparently,
I think it's shocking. I mean, Pellegrini in general has proved that he just doesn't make the cut. Him going out on loan, that part's great, but we obviously need a left back. You know, we're going to be playing a lot of games. You know, we get to the Champions League, we have to play, 3 times a week. So not having a left back, I don't know what kind of statement that is going to make for the team if we want to challenge trophies. Obviously, we have major holes. Alexandro's proved unreliable, and anybody else that we have has just been makeshift. DeCilio, Danilo. I just don't see it being. It's something that's going to shore up our defense, and if we switch to a 3-man back, we don't have the depth there either. Gatti, Bonucci, and Bremer. That's definitely good. It's decent, but one injury, and we have catastrophe. It's our biggest. I think it's our biggest issue because we've conceded a lot of goals last year, in comparison to other years. So losing our 2 best defenders in Chiellini and just getting into a new season where everybody's got to relearn everything it could really be bad. But we definitely need a backup for sure. So I hope that changes, quickly. We can't just concede goals like we did 4-0 the other day. It's shocking. And we played with 4 men. So there's some obvious holes that need to be filled, and quickly.
I agree. What about you, Stephanie?
I think it's going to be a long game. Monday, right? I think it's going to be a very long game where they're going to be like, Sandro's playing just, that's the weakest link, and it's shocking, just like Giuseppe said. Yeah.
The thing is also Bremer today, he said that playing with 3 at the back will suit Bremer. It will suit him. Because he said today he needs to adapt to playing in a 4, and on top of that, he needs to adjust to Bonucci, so he cannot play on his position at the back, which is another issue on top of the fact that he needs to learn, or he needs to adapt to playing a 4 at the back. He cannot play in the position, so he needs to adapt to Bonucci, who he's not the future. So that's also a weird thing. I read an article today in the Gazzetta. No, it wasn't the Corriere dello Sport, saying that Kostic is considered to play left back. It's a serious consideration, and that makes it even worse for me. It makes it worse than what I tweeted out, and that's they're going to consider Danilo as a center back, and they're going with a 3-5-2. But then Alexander, that's going to be one of the worst 3-5-2s I've seen in a very long time, because Alexandro can, he cannot be this man. He cannot cross a ball. He cannot defend. He's useless. It is what it is.
He's checked out completely. He's checked out completely.
Yeah, I think we squeezed everything out of him, and then I don't know what happened. That drop off, I can still not believe the drop off he had. I don't know what happened, but it's actually unbelievable, because I was watching a compilation of him, and all of that was until 2018 maybe, and then the drop off was I was like, what happened?
His father died.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, they were saying. I believe it. Don't quote me on this because I'm not a reporter, but I think his father died. I believe his father died around that time, and it just kind of messed with how he played.
Well,
okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's like Adriano, pretty much.
Yeah.
So let's say that. Sorry for interrupting. Let's say that we do sign a mysterious left back, right? You think Allegri would integrate them so quickly?
No.
It's got
So it's
yeah.
Also, who is the option? Because like the name I have in mind is always Emerson, but today I read that he was close to. Was it? Well, was it?
It was a French
Forest?
team, right?
Was it French? I don't know. I read
I thought it was.
Forest.
Yeah, I thought it was a French team.
It could be. It could be. I don't think we. I don't want to jinx it. Never mind.
Yeah.
We cannot.
I think in general, going to a three-man defense is only going to suit us because we have our two biggest issues are outside backs. They're not getting up. They're not defending well. It's going to be better for Bonucci's pretty much out the door, let's call it, by the end of the season. And, it's just going to give Locatelli more help. Pogba, when he comes back, more help. And we're going to put the pressure on other teams instead of trying to absorb pressure and leaving Vlahovic by himself up top. I mean, it's easier to play as a strong center back like Bremer. It's easier to play a three-man back. There's less responsibility. There's less issues keeping people onside, offside, and you keep the ball in the middle of the field. When you control the pitch, you control the game. So that's why Conte, he doesn't care if he's playing in Italy, running a national team or playing in England. He's going to play a 3-5-2, and he's going to get players that are going to fit in his system. And we've played with our personnel, and it's shocking. It's just so bad. And Bremer, we brought him in for big money. He's the only real player that we spent a lot of money on, and he's going to be the future. So you might as well let him play his game and, let our existing left backs just go to the wayside and just play three-man system, 5 in the middle, give our midfield more strength. And, of course, our forwards more support. So I think that is our biggest problem because we're not going to find two good left backs and a starting right back because I really don't think Danilo or De Sciglio is that either. That's just my opinion.
They're not. Switching back to 3 will suit Bremer. It will suit Kostic. But okay, I don't believe that was the plan. That's all I'm saying. I don't believe that was the plan at the start of the window, and that's an issue because it's Friday. For me, it's almost Friday. In 20 minutes, it's Friday. Like, we play on Monday, and I have the feeling that Allegri's still sitting there, and he's like, let's see. Maybe I'll play a 3-5-2 on Monday. Maybe I'll play a 4-2-2. Maybe a 4-3-3. I don't know. And that's, for me, that's very worrying. Like, it's shocking.
It is shocking.
It's unbelievable. Like, that we play on Monday, and we're still, looking around and like, what are we going to do? Like, it makes no sense. Like, everything we're doing now kind of makes no sense. The Depay thing, like, not even 5 months ago, the news was Allegri doesn't want Depay. Now I like Depay, but like, now we're signing Depay. What changed in Allegri's mind in 4 months time or 5 months?
No, I think he's realizing that he needs someone to play next to Vlahovic up top, like a support striker almost, someone that, because like we saw the last couple of games, he is literally up there and that's it. So you need someone to come in there and play underneath him, or either to set him up with a pass or even to take away defenders. Because the thing is like, it was prevalent against Real Madrid and it was prevalent against Atletico. He goes up there and is up there. Like, it's his style, not knocking him for it, but like the thing is like, you need to give him support. Like, he needs a number 2 around him to give him a pass or to even slot him up, because right now, we got to be honest, Vlahovic cannot create his own shot. If you're going to be up there as a number 9, you need to be able to one touch, rip it at the net. If it goes in, it goes in. There's a couple of times, especially I believe it was a cross from Fagioli, a chip ball against Real Madrid, where he bobbled it twice, or it bounced on in front of him twice, and he still couldn't get a shot off. If you're playing that number 9 position, and we'll give him some leeway because he is only 22 years old, so we can't be harsh on him for that. But like, that's what separates you from Lewandowski, from Haaland, from even the Brazilian Ronaldo, even Cristiano. Like, you have to be able to create your own shot, especially if you're going to play that number 9. And I don't like him, but Icardi was really good at doing that, because Icardi could create something out of nothing. So if you're playing that number 9 poacher, he's got to be able to create a shot. And I think Allegri kind of realizes that now. And Depay is that player that can body someone off the ball, that can slide in a pass, or that can change tempo on a counterattack. So I think that's more of an Allegri kind of having a change in heart, because it just, to do that, you need to be able to supply Vlahovic, just because he's not at that point where he can create his own shot and do something like that.
Yeah, Vlahovic.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Vlahovic is. He needs more people around him. Exactly. I agree, Dash. And he needs service. And for him to be dangerous, he needs the ball. And if he comes into the midfield to get it, he's going to be too far away from the net. And he's not a player that's going to come get the ball in the midfield, turn, beat 3 players, and then, chase defenders down. He's probably what he's been doing now, and it just proves that it's not working. So I agree. He needs service. We need a spine in the middle of the field, and we got to give him the ball, like a lot of them. He had what, like 3 or 4 chances, in the past game. It's, I mean, how do you proceed in an attack for the entire season? You're not going to get the ball. You have to come and get it.
I think
it's just defeating the purpose.
Maybe it's me. I will ask Stephanie, because that's what I think. I think Vlahovic is not fit. He's not 100% at this moment in time. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that, but based on the games I've seen, especially the Atletico game, he was way off the mark. Like, the entire team was way off the mark compared to Atletico fitness-wise, but Vlahovic was even worse compared to the second worst player we had on that pitch. Like, fitness-wise, like, he got bullied off the ball. Like, his first touch was... It was bad. Like, it was not a 70 million first touch. It was a 7 million first touch. That's what it is. I don't think he's fit, because I have no idea. There was no news in preseason. Like, he was just not on the team sheets on the American tour. And then you can see him in training, taking trick shots with Allegri. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Because there was no rules. Not even Romeo saying, oh, he has that, or like this. He's not training. Nothing. But when I've seen him play now, he didn't train at a high level. He didn't.
He had a quad tweak in the beginning of June, so I don't know if that played into it.
I think
that's how I felt with McKennie. He was like smiling with Di Maria and trainings, and then somehow it comes out that his shoulder was dislocated.
And he's back in training, McKennie, by the way, which is, I don't know what it is. Like, based on Juve's report, he shouldn't be back in training, but it's our medical staff, so I don't know. Also on medical news, Pogba's doing better than expected at the moment in time, so he could be back faster. Also Chiesa, I don't think they're gonna rush back Chiesa. They shouldn't. Let's see. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to talk about Rabiot, because like Romeo says the meeting was today. Giovanni Di Marzo just said it's gonna happen tomorrow. Maybe, is it John Murtha from Man U is gonna stay in Torino for another night, and we'll give it a go next season. According to Pedula, the agreement is it's proceeding well, but Man U are not offering more than 7 mil, and that's the issue, because he's getting more than 7 at Juve, and he doesn't want to, lower his demands, basically. So that's that. I don't want to talk about Rabiot because it's done. Also, Rugani is going to stay, which is kind of hilarious, because all the newspapers are saying, the next 48 hours he will give his answer never given. Or, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. No news.
48 hours 2 weeks ago?
I still have Fabiana Della Valle's tweet, because I thought it was a fake one the first time. She tweeted that he was close to joining Galatasaray. I was like, no way, Rugani is doing that. And I can see his tweet, 2nd of August. Rugani likes Galatasaray very much, and the deal can be closed. It's 9 days now, 10, and nothing. He's gonna stay. Which
I think we can all agree that Fabiana Della Valle is a one-hit wonder, and she has been completely off the mark ever since the Vlahovic news. So I think she's dropped down in the credibility tier list.
Yeah, but that's that. So that's the news. Depay, I saw people saying in the chat, nothing. Like his representative were at the Barca complex a few hours ago, but all Barca journalists were saying today is a big day, blah blah blah. No news, nothing. So that's not a big day. Let's see tomorrow what will happen. DiMarcio just said that the deal for Depay is very difficult. That's why we offered Keane from Real. I'm like, that's even more difficult. So that news is kind of weird, you know. But that's what he said. And the next thing is Paredes. Because Rovella is going to Monza. Fagioli is going to stay. He signed this deal. So Paredes is the next man up, apparently. The issue is he is on ridiculous wages. Like pushing 10 million euros. Close, according to French sources. I thought it was 8.5 always, but if it's 10, it's even worse. He needs to have that. Because I don't want the club to pay Paredes 6 million euros. Does anyone want the club to do that?
No.
Yeah, it's way too high.
It's too high. It's actually insane. And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, they agreed on terms. I want to know what's the agreement, because going from 9 to 5, I wouldn't take that pay cut. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. When I'm at PSG, and he played on the weekend, he gave an assist. So why would I take a massive pay cut? But Rovella is gone, so I'm gonna say we're gonna do that deal. The moment Rabiot leaves, we will do the Paredes deal. That's what I
think it's a 6+2.
It's a 6+2. I saw.
I think its bonuses is more than 2.
It's more than 6. It's more than 6. 100%. It's more than 6. Because I remember the moment he signed, and I remember it was a big thing in RMC Sport. That's a French outlet. Like, it was a complete discussion because they were offering him ridiculous wages, and he was coming from Zenit, and the French press was asking, like, do you really need to do that for a Zenit player? I know that was the issue at the time. It was a lot of money. Does anyone is saying, no, I don't want Paredes? Forget about the wages for now. Does anyone say, I don't want Paredes? Keep in mind, Rovella's gone. Like, he will leave on loan because I don't think Allegri trusts him to play that position. Let's say 30 games a season, 28 games. Dash.
I mean,
or Giuseppe. No, sorry, you go, Giuseppe, go.
I mean, Paredes, he doesn't really, impress me. Can he do a job? Yeah, I think he can do a job. Is he going to free up Locatelli? I think so. I think that is the hope, is that someone can free up Locatelli, because Locatelli is dangerous, and I think that's his natural position. That's what, benefits the team the most, when Locatelli can, pretty much control the midfield, have more time on the ball, less defensive duties. Yeah, I mean, could Paredes do the job? Of course, but for the right wages, I think that is that's the up and down, if you will, of that transfer. If it's not at the right price, then it's just going to be another problem, another player with high wages, and you're basically switching another PSG and Rabiot with Paredes, and he's unproven on our team, because there just happens to be a habit of players coming in, being really good at their club, and then having to, accommodate Allegri's tactics and not really shining. So I think that is the only question mark I have about Paredes. So I'm not really enticed about the transfer, but I don't know what else is out there that is going to, solve, that tactical issue that we have amongst the other ones, especially at that price. If it's 6 plus 2, I think that's way too high. That's just my opinion. 6 is, is okay, but look what we're paying Pogba, and he's world class. Paredes is not world class.
Yeah, the club needs to keep that in mind. What about you, Stephanie? Or Does anyone want to keep Rovella? I will ask you, Stephanie. Will you keep Rovella and say no to Paredes? Just keep Rovella.
No, I mean I would go for Paredes. He's very solid, but like Giuseppe said, it's more just like the pricing. A 6+2, I wouldn't do that at all.
See, I would have sold Faggioli and kept Rovella because I think Faggioli's not ready. Not at all, just based off of what I've seen. He's too slow, defensively liable. For me, for Paredes, if the coach wants Paredes, you give the coach Paredes. You find a way to make it work financially. I agree to an extent with the money-wise, but we're also paying Vlahovic a lot of money, and he's technically hasn't been proven, theoretically hasn't been proven yet before people come at me and say he's great. But we're paying him over $7.5 million a season, so we're paying Vlahovic a pretty penny too. It's not me coming at Vlahovic, but it's just, again, talking about wages. I do disagree with the Rabiot and Paredes comparison. Rabiot was frozen out of the PSG team for 8 months before he joined us. So we took a huge gamble on Rabiot just because potentially he was good. He could potentially grow into who he is. So Rabiot kind of had some red flags. Paratici, saw it as a shiny new toy and went for it. Again, Rabiot just ended up never getting that form that he had prior to being frozen out, because when Rabiot got frozen out of the French squad, he kind of like absolutely shut down mentally at PSG. So he was frozen out of that squad. So he didn't want to renew with PSG. So PSG was like, all right, well, that's fine. You're not going to play with us. So I believe from January of 2019 to when he signed for us, he was training individually. So he wasn't training with the squad. So I think Paredes isn't going to be like that. I would hope not, because we've had some PSG players that have turned out pretty well. A good example is Matuidi, because Paredes is a lot more older than Rabiot was at the time when he came over. So I think Paredes is a lot more mature as a player. But for me, I think if Allegri needs a natural-born regista to unlock Locatelli, we give him the natural-born regista. It's the thing. We got to give the coach what he wants. And then if the team flops, it's on the coach. We gave you what you wanted. This is on you. So that's my mindset on it, because I don't want to be in January or February and say that we don't get Paredes and Allegri wanted him, and we get some random dude that's not really a regista. And then Allegri goes on the press conference saying, I told Arriva, Beni, and Cherubini, I need a regista to run my stuff. They didn't give it to me, so I had to make do with what I had. So that's the thing. I don't want that opening for them to go at. I want it to be that, hey, Cherubini and Arriva Beni say, hey, we gave you Depay, we gave you Di Maria, we gave you Pogba, we gave you Paredes. Why are we in 4th place? You have all the tools that you need. You need to be challenging for the title. So you don't straighten this up, you're gone. So like, you want to have it where the club gives him what he wants, and then you can go at him and then say, hey, we gave you this. You didn't perform. Adios, muchacho.
Yeah. But no, but otherwise I'm gonna ruin the show. I'll keep that for a minute. I'll keep that for a minute. Otherwise we're gonna flip it. But yeah, I agree. You need to give the coach what he needs, player-wise. But I cannot, like, the way everything is going. Let me see what Gazzetta dello Sport is saying. And let me see. It's about the pie. Oh, but it's horrendous journalist. So, yeah, I'm not gonna read that out. It's a horrendous journalist. I don't rate that journalist. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you can give him the players he needs, fine. But the way the transfer window is going, I'm scared they didn't really have. I think they had plan A, B, C, D, E, all of them. And I have the feeling they never went for plan A and just, mixed it up a little bit, Kostic is still available. Okay, let's do that deal now, Or like Arthur, he's still at the club. And I know it's very difficult to move him on. But I'm shocked. Like, no club wants Arthur. I get Valencia cannot pay that money. I get it, But he's not going to play. He's not going to play. that left back situation, I thought that was a priority this summer, like a big priority. We signed one, we loaned them out. We're gonna sell another one, and apparently not bringing in another one. So I just have the feeling that the plan at the start of the window wasn't this, and that's my issue. And we will move on to Monday because me, Justin, and Julian did the prediction show. It's out. Everybody can watch it. So I'm not gonna, repeat what I said on the show. Otherwise, it makes no sense. But what I was, Paredes, give the player to the coach. He's asking for Paredes, give him that. What happens if Allegri doesn't deliver? Then you're stuck with Paredes on high wages. That's my issue. And I think that's why Julian also said, check if they want a loan with an option, all those things. So before we move, let's move to it. Dash, I did my prediction. Monday we play. What's your prediction for us, position-wise? Just position.
As the starting lineup?
No. Where are we going to finish this season? And we did that based on yesterday. So we don't know what's going to happen in the Mercato. Who's coming in, who's leaving, blah, blah, blah. What do you think? For people who haven't watched the video, I'm going to spoil it. I put them in third, but I said it needs to be very close title race. It cannot be third finishing 12, 15 points behind. It needs to be very close. We need to be in it. The team is good enough, in my opinion, to win it if I'm looking at the other squads. But I don't believe we're going to make it. That's what I said.
So I'm gonna say second place plus or minus 4 points. So what that means is either we're off by 4 points or we'll win and be within that threshold. The reason is I personally think Inter took a downgrade this year. I don't think they've improved. They took a bumbling Lukaku on loan, and that's it. I don't see any significant change. I think Bastoni isn't really as good of a center back as everyone says he is, and I believe De Vrij left Inter Milan as well. So you have Skriniar and you have really weak Bastoni, in my opinion. I just don't think he's the next great Chiellini, as everyone keeps touting him out to be. Midfield-wise, they're the same. I haven't seen much of an improvement from Inter. AC Milan, I don't think they've improved as well. I think they're probably plateaued as far as that because, in my opinion, I think they had multiple players have career years in the season that they won the title. So I just don't see them. The only players I could see being consistent are going to be Leao and Hernandez. And then I don't think maybe Sandro Tonali might take a step up. But again, they lost Kessie. Kessie is a big piece of that midfield, and they didn't really replace him. And then as far as forwards, as a striker, they still have Giroud. They have Zlatan with one leg, and they brought in Origi. So not a big upgrade for Milan. Napoli, outside of Raspadori, they lost Koulibaly, they've lost Insigne, they've lost Mertens. I don't think Chucky Lozano is going to be that big player that's going to fill in the gap. I also don't see Raspadori doing it as well. And then I think Osimhen isn't really that great of a striker. So I think Napoli's probably going to fall out of the top four. Whereas us, we've actually replaced, and Julian covered it yesterday, we've actually replaced a lot of our outgoing players with players equal or greater quality. Per se. The only one that was, and that I agreed with Julian on, is Gatti and Chiellini, because Gatti just hasn't given us that much sample size to make that comparison yet. Again, it's going to take 9 years for that to ever happen, but still, I think we've improved drastically compared to last year. The other team that I think will probably come in, it'll be between Roma and Lazio for that final fourth spot. So I think we'll push second. I think it's going to be between us and Inter till the end. Again, I'm saying plus or 4 points when it comes to it. It'll be between us and Inter. The reason is because the reason why I'm kind of not really convinced on Inter winning the whole thing is if they lose Brozovic, they're done. Their midfield's over. They have no answer for it. Last season, they fumbled the league to Milan because they didn't have an answer for Brozovic when he got injured.
They signed.
It was an Albanian from Empoli.
That's not. Yeah, he will do that.
Asllani.
He's young, but he's gonna take over from Brozovic at some point because I think he's that talented. So that should be the answer. But I don't know if he's ready now. Empoli, Inter, It's iffy.
Yeah, that'll be to be determined. But I think it's almost kind of like a repeat of last year as far as quality wise. Some teams downgraded a little bit, but I think for sure the surefire thing is I think Napoli's out of the top four for sure this year. I think they're going to be battling for fifth or sixth. I think it's going to be one of the Roma teams that are going to probably push for that fourth spot. But your top three are going to be for sure Inter, Milan, and Juventus. I'm not going to say what order. I still think Juve is going to probably finish second, and that's my thoughts on it.
Okay. Really quickly, I saw comments. I don't know. I saw a comment from someone saying, "Oh, the TP, whatever," saying the Ketelaar is just a Salamakers 2.0. He's not. Like, Salamakers is a bang average footballer, and they're trying to sell him and they signed him to a new deal a few months ago, and now they try to sell him because he's bang average. It is what it is. I cannot believe he is playing Serie A football. I couldn't believe he was playing in Belgium and he was, looked at by Milan. I couldn't believe it. Nobody over here could believe it. I know how he scammed Milan into buying him, but good for him. And Julian is right. Please like the video. Do that. What about you, Giuseppe? Scudetto?
Definitely, I definitely don't think we're going to challenge for the Scudetto. I agree with Dash. It will be pushing second. I think it's going to be a solid third finish. Napoli is going to be out of contention. They really didn't improve their squad. Milan didn't buy a ton of players, I see in the comments, but at the same time, they did buy quality ones, and they have a returning team. And I think they have momentum. I think their strikers are consistent, and they have a balanced squad. Inter, they're losing players, they're adding some players, but ultimately we have to factor in that it's a World Cup year in the middle of winter. So November, December, anything can happen. I think it's a mixed bag because it's going to be a long second half of the season. The winter transfer market may come into play, but ultimately it's going to be how healthy that players come back and how motivated they come back from World Cup, depending on when their team and if their team is competing in it. And injuries will play a part. We've already experienced injuries, that have really hurt us in Chiesa, and we're lucky with Pogba. But at the same time, these are anchor players that are going to make a huge difference for us. And it's really anybody's, second or third, maybe fourth to challenge for. But I think Milan is coming back. I don't like to say it, but I think they're coming back, well balanced and strong and motivated. Inter, they're slipping. Roma is probably going to challenge for fourth. Mourinho's got some momentum. They brought in some squad players, not game beaters. Dybala, who knows if he's going to be healthy. Matic, he's kind of a dinosaur. But, they brought in from PSG. Wijnaldum, thanks, Dash. So, I mean, they're strengthening up their midfield. I think that's what's going to help them push up the Scudetto ladder. But ultimately, I think we're going to stay close to the two or three spot and hopefully reinforce, because we have still a lot of unanswered questions. And like you're saying, Ale, I agree with you. I really don't see us going into our first and second matches with Allegri saying, yeah, we're just going to go to a 3-5-2. It's going to be fine. We have serious, holes in the squad that have not been addressed the entire transfer market. And it's the season starting. So it's not very reassuring. So that's why I say third spot.
Okay. Before I go to Stephanie, thanks everybody for watching. Over 100 people, but not even 50 likes. So that's sad. So please like the video. It's 1 second. So third place for you, second for Dash. Stephanie, you go first place, right?
I think it's gonna be a repeat of last year, kind of like tying these Sassuolo and all these teams, and then getting our stuff together, and then second peak kind of like trying to catch up with the top four. Like Roma, I think is going to be like fourth, and then it's kind of like AC Milan, Inter in the top. Also, is my camera working?
No,
I
you're
don't know
good.
if it's- Okay, it's like frozen over here. But yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, so nobody put him in first place. Justin put him in fifth. Because
Yeah, I just
He's
think if we
hating.
get like a fullback, I just think if we get like a fullback and a couple attacking players, we might compete for silverware. But as of right now, how it stands, no.
Justin said, Julian said third place. I also said third, but I said third in terms of they need to compete. If they don't compete, if Allegri doesn't compete with this squad, I don't care. If he doesn't compete with the squad and finish 12, 15 points of first place, I said on the
That's
preview,
sackable.
that's sackable. Like
Yeah.
if you're a serious club, Agnelli needs to pull the trigger and like this is not okay. I'm sorry. I can give you Pogba, I gave you Di Maria. You wanted Paredes, fine. You got Paredes. I know the left back situation is what it is. I don't blame anyone for that. I mean, I blame the club for that. Excuse me. De Ligt wanted to leave. You got Bremer, so we replaced him. I don't know if he wants the pie. I'm not sure about that. He wants Morata. But like looking at that squad, it has holes in it. I agree 100%. That's why I'm not saying he needs to win. He needs to compete. Like people might say he needs to win, and I'm not gonna disagree with people who say he needs to win it. But like fifth place, because Justin put him in fifth. If we finish fifth, more people than Allegri are gonna lose their job probably. I'm pretty sure. Like I'm not sure, but they should. It's not like Pirlo season, Allegri season, last season. Having another season like that at a club who won 9 straight, that's ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. And I agree with Giuseppe because I said that on the preview. Like Milan's squad, if you look at that squad, I don't think nobody's like, oh my god, I want 8 of their starters. I don't think anyone is gonna say that, but it's fine. They're a solid team, like very solid, very difficult to break down. They know how to score. Like they're just a good team. And with Inter, I'm like, it's Inzaghi. I think Inter have the better squad overall. But it's Inzaghi.
Their coach, yeah, their coach is terrible.
I don't know. Well, I won't say terrible, but like I don't trust Inzaghi. I don't trust him. I actually don't trust him. I have the feeling every time I watch Inzaghi, I'm just waiting. Okay, he's gonna mess it up now. He's gonna do something, and it's gonna mess it up.
And Inzaghi is almost like the poor man's Conte. Like he's not like as intense as Conte is, but it's like for example, you want to buy a Ferrari, but you can't afford it, so you get the Fiat. So that's what Inzaghi is in comparison to Conte. Like I think, like I just don't see Inzaghi as a good coach, man. I think Inzaghi is just kind of like he's a player's coach, but like he's not. Because the reason why, and I still think the reason why Inter won the title that year was because Conte ran those guys into the ground and was serious about it. Like I'm not a big fan of the 3-5-2. I don't care too much for that formation, but I give props to Conte as being able to organize and get a team together to run for something. I still don't think he's an elite coach just because he flops after his second year, and then usually he runs and complains about not getting enough money and can't do anything in Europe. But Inzaghi to me is just, I don't want to say he's washed, but he's not. He's just not that good of a coach, because if he runs out of plan A, that's it. All he has is plan A. He doesn't have anything else besides that. So it's just a poor man's Conte. You're muted.
Oh, I'm muted.
You're muted.
My bad. Yep. Forget it. I didn't say anything interesting, so it's okay. Next question before I'll move on to the final question. Who do you think is gonna be our player of the season? Who's gonna be the reason we are gonna win something, or just, I don't know, scrape top 4? But it's just because of that player. He's the reason. I'm going first. I'll keep saying it. For me, it's Di Maria. I think it's Di Maria. What about you, Dash? You go first.
Locatelli.
Okay.
I think once if Paredes does come in and Locatelli plays as that Metzela role, I think he's gonna have. It's gonna be either Locatelli or I think McKennie. I think one of those two are gonna break maybe 8 to 9 goals this season just because of how they play, and I think that's gonna be critical. So I think it's gonna be because a lot of people. The thing is when you have Pogba back, everyone's gonna be focused on Pogba. So then that'll open up the opposite midfielder. So I'm thinking it's going to be between Locatelli or McKennie that has like a really breakout season that can be considered MVP. I'm not going to say Vlahovic because I'm expecting him to score at least 20 goals this year, just because. So that's him doing his job per se. I think Di Maria will play well, but I think it's going to be someone in the midfield this year. I think they're going to surprise somebody.
Without a doubt, I think it's going to be Bremer. I think he's going to be the anchor in the back that's going to, give, our keeper a little bit more confidence, Locatelli and the guys up front more confidence to take chances and take risks. He was the, defender of the year last year, but I think probably about like 7 or 8 games into the season, he's really going to find his comfort zone. And I think he's going to be a difference maker about us going forward. Controlling games and organizing. If Allegri can stay out of his way, I think he's going to be the difference maker in the back and seasons to come, because there's a lot of unanswered questions about some of our attackers, and I think Bremer has proven that he's a strong defender. He can do a lot on his own, but I think he's just going to anchor the team, and that's something that we've missed for a long time, and with Chiellini being out for long stretches, and same thing with Bonucci being inconsistent, and I think he's just going to be more inconsistent. Going forward, he's getting older. He's kind of showing his age. I think Bremer's really going to anchor the team and give Locatelli a little bit more support and confidence behind him.
If we get that attacker, I kind of want to say Vlahovic, just because I want that mysterious attacker, whichever we get. I want that to unlock Vlahovic and make him score, hopefully like 20. But I like the Bremer answer. I like the Di Maria answer. The only thing I don't like about the Di Maria is like you could tell in preseason when he wasn't doing well, it was kind of like a disaster in a sense.
Yeah, I think preseason. Yeah, I think he was forcing it a little bit at times, but like it's okay. Let's see on Monday. It's just I have a feeling it will be Di Maria. I think he will be the difference maker this season, and that's why I'm saying Di Maria. I have 2 questions still before we wrap it up. The next one was. It's about Vlahovic, because we talked about it. Julian talked about it a lot. He has his own opinion on it, which I kind of agree on. I saw someone saying, he hates Vlahovic in the comments. He rates Vlahovic highly, but he's just saying, okay, he needs to improve in that regard. And he's right. Like, it is what it is. That's fine. Okay, he needs to improve. But my question is, how many goals do you think he's going to score? All competitions, because it's important. If he ends with 15, 16 all competitions, we have an issue. Not him maybe, but like I think it's more a team issue, Allegri issue if you only score 16. I'm just saying something. So all competitions, how many do you think he's gonna make? I'll go with you, Dash, first.
Okay, so my pushback is, do we know, is it with the current squad right now, or is it with Depay in the front line as well?
That's we're getting a midfielder, we're getting an attacker. I don't know who's gonna be. but we're getting more.
I would say probably 30 to 32 goals in all competitions. So I'm going to say probably 21 in Serie A. I'll say 6 in the Champions League. That's more so me counting the group stages, not the knockout stages. And then 2 or 3 maybe in the Coppa Italia, 2 or 3, because he'll probably play in the round of 16, the semifinal, and the final. So it's just he'll have like maybe 4 to 5 games maybe in the Coppa Italia. So that's why I think he's not going to score that much there. But I don't think he's going to be the Capocannoniere. I think he'll just get maybe 20, 21 goals in the league. I think he'll get 5 or 6 in the Champions League just because it's a lot more free flowing. And he proved it with Villarreal that first game where it doesn't take much to score. And then that's the thing that bothers me is because like that Villarreal game, he created his own shot out of nothing. And then it's like we didn't see that kind of shot creation later. So it's why I'm on the same train with Julian about Vlahovic, where there is some things that he does need to improve on. We can argue and say that, yeah, he had a groin issue, so that's kind of what hampered him. But once he starts going, and especially when Chiesa's back too, he's got to get going, man. It has to. I think he'll score a lot with a front three of Chiesa, Di Maria, and him. But I want him to score 32, 33 goals with that kind of delusion that I put on there, but you never know.
Yeah. Hanin says Vlahovic will start bad. Most of Twitter will turn on him. Hanin, you need to say off Twitter more. Less, like you just forget about Twitter, because at the beginning I couldn't see her on Twitter, and now she is all over the place arguing.
I know
it's not good for you. I can tell it's not good.
It's annoying though.
Hanin, you're going to the dark side. Like, don't we like
Don't.
this the adorable soft Hanin. We don't like this mean dog Hanin that we've been seeing on Twitter.
Yeah,
she's been going at everybody.
People like arguing. Like, take a break.
She's like, I got this smoke and I'm giving it to everybody.
She did. What about you, Giuseppe? Also plus 30?
I really don't think so. I don't see him coming out of the gates and scoring a ton of goals. I think there's a relatively new squad behind him. We still got to get to know players. He's been relatively quiet. He's coming off some muscular problems and issues. I think about middle of the season, he's going to be firing all cylinders. So I'm saying low 20s at best in all competitions. I think there's something to be said for the players that are coming in. They may feed off of him and pick up 10 and 15 goals, here and there. I agree with what you're saying, Ale, especially Di Maria. I think he's just, when he's on the ball, he's just dangerous. He doesn't really make a lot of offensive mistakes. And if he's got the freedom behind him, I think, Vlahovic is going to create those mismatches in front of him and he'll pick up more goals. And that's good for squad balance, but I don't see him being a target striker that's going to knock in 30 goals. Not in all competition. And he's unproven in Champions League. So that's a new tournament for him. And when he's playing 3 games a week, I think that's going to wear him down because he's out of shape, or he's not out of shape. He's out of fitness and out of form currently. So that's just going to add to his woes in the beginning of the season.
That's fair. Stephanie.
No, I agree with what Giuseppe said. Like, more like it's going to start off really slow and then it's going to pick up like in the middle of the season. Plus, you got to incorporate like the World Cup in Serbia, being in the World Cup, obviously. So hopefully we get that attacker that will unlock him. And just like Dash said, if he can create on his own, like what he did with Villarreal, like I think probably 25 to 30.
Okay. I have, like, when he joined, I was spot on. Like, people were saying, oh, he's going to score another 60 the moment he joined. I was like, it's too much. If he scores 20 in Serie A, I think he and we are having a good season. If he scores 20, I think we are having a good season and he is having a good season. That's what I believe. If he passes, let's say passes 20, 21, 22, I think we're competing. We should be competing if he gets those numbers, in my opinion, this season. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't know if he's going to hit 30. Maybe with Coppa Italia. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. The final question before we wrap it up, and I will bring this up because it's part of it. I will ask each of you the prediction for Monday's game, and everybody can you can still do the prediction soon in the Discord members section. I will open it up hopefully tomorrow, and everybody has time until 30 minutes before kickoff, and then I end it. So Prediction League, if you are a member, you can win one of the 3 prizes. I've shown it many times. Or you can come on the channel like Dash, Giuseppe and Stephanie are doing. So join the members club and you can win stuff. I'm not giving my prediction because I'm doing the preview show. Also, Julian is out for 2 weeks. He's on vacation. So it's going to be a little bit different compared to last season for now, the prediction. It's gonna be on Monday, I think. It's not gonna be live. It's gonna be pre-record the first time. So I'm gonna do my prediction on Monday. You guys can do your prediction. You can still change it in the Discord later on. You go, Dash. Monday.
I'm gonna say the game is gonna end 2-0 Vlahovic brace against the Swallow. Reason is, one, I need him to hit 30 goals, 30 plus goals, just so I could say at the end of the season, I told you all. But the other thing is looking at Sassuolo, they lost Scamacca. They're about to lose Raspadori, and I think Berardi is a bum. So I'm going to trigger half of the Italian fan base right there with that one. But I don't see anything too crazy coming out of Sassuolo. I think they got a couple lucky games last year. I think they're a mid-table team. I would say 2-0. I think we'll be tidy in the back just because I don't see an offensive threat. But, Sassuolo tends to give us troubles, but I'm still pretty positive on the 2-0 result.
Okay. So we start with a win, according to you. Giuseppe?
I think it's going to be 3-1. Vlahovic, Kostic, and Di Maria. Those are my 3. The only threat I see is, essentially you have Berardi, but like Dash is saying, they don't have a lot going forward. They've definitely weakened as a team, but it's not stopping us from conceding. So I'd say 3-1 first match.
Okay, so a win. Stephanie?
I want to be different. I want to say 2-1. I want to say Vlahovic, Di Maria, and then a Sandro own goal.
Oh my God.
Be different. just to be different.
Can you make that
different.
bet?
Yeah, I could.
Just
Imagine it happens.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, can you just make that bet and then we'll just have you in the prediction leagues, just make the parlay bets for us?
Oh my God. If he scores an own goal, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, there's a big possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. Also, people in the chat who are members and are not in Discord, please reach out on me on Twitter, on my personal account or the main account, and I'll put you in that Discord section because you can join the prediction league and the Discord chat. Because I see a lot of people who are not in it also early on. So if you're not, DM me now on Twitter, the main account, or my personal account, or on Instagram, whatever. Not Facebook, because I don't use Facebook anymore. But yeah, I'm not gonna do my prediction, otherwise I will spoil the show on Monday, and I need to see the lineup, or the predicted lineup, because in this week I've seen 5 different predicted lineups, so it is what it is. Let's see. Tomorrow, I have no idea what's tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
Friday.
Julian recorded a hot take video that will come out tomorrow for people who are interested. It's about our backline, the first one. So check that in the morning. Will be a daily. Probably will be a live, and then Monday we play. First game of the season. I want to thank Dash for coming on, as usual. Also Giuseppe and Stephanie, first time. It went
Thanks, guys.
very well. It went well. I think it went well. I don't know if you liked it. Probably yes. If not,
Yeah, I thought you're
never
I thought you were only gonna think Dash. I'm like, wow.
Nah,
I'm right
nah.
here.
Hey, Ali and I have a bromance because it's only Ali and I that are together, and it's Justin and Julian that are only together. So it's like, we become like a rival sports show where it's like the Dash and Ali show versus the Double J show. So I guess
mean,
that's what it is.
didn't he just call you furniture though when we first started?
Yeah, I know. He's like Dash is here. He's like cheap furniture. He's like that comforter that he's that futon that I always know is there. So whenever I need to take a 5-minute nap, I'll just call it and just be like, boom, there it is.
It is. Also because this show is gonna be something regular during the season. I forgot the schedule I made, so I don't know. Wait, it's usually 2 days after a game, or 1 day after a Champions League game. That's when this show is gonna happen with members, something like that. I forgot the schedule. So if anyone wants to join the members club, you can join. If you're on the members club, just tell me you want to join for a show, and you can join. And you can be part of the furniture like Dash. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Again, people in the chat, thanks everybody for joining. If you haven't, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification as always, and we will see you back tomorrow. Ciao, guys.